Yo, what's going on, YouTube? Hopefully you can hear me. Let me know if you can't. And here we go. I'm doing the chat thing. I got the glasses on. I'm going to take them off in a second. Get you all excited. And boom. All right, it's your bud Schmuel Buckman. Could somebody just post in the chat if they're able to hear me? We did some settings changes today. I want to make sure that they work. Anyone, anyone, anyone. Anyone, anyone, anyone. Can you hear me? Tell me, can you hear me? Squid, thank you very much, man. I did some settings changes today. Worked long and hard with our friend Annie so that we could get set up. So I was able to hear, and you were able to hear. I know, except Carmen wears women's glasses. There we go. It's me, Schmuel Buckman. And what's up, guys? We're gonna do a quick one tonight because my friend Pat has asked me on his show. Because of that, I will be rushing through this because, shockingly, I'm late, as I'm always late. And Johnny Chopsticks, woo, the Kermix look. Kermix. I've heard a lot of his names. Carmix, Carmax, Carfax, Car Crash. Kermix is a new one. But my most favorite of the moment is the Zeman, a Zeman, the Zeman, reminding me of some semen. So we do have super tips working, I think, fellas. So let's you can all see the cupcake. And now let's all hope that you can hear our boy Kevin.
Welcome to the show, Super Tip DJ Bogman.
Or can you? You can hear me. Did you hear Kevin? Echo. Echo, echo, echo. Sorry, kids. My tab is muted. I shouldn't be echoing. Let's give one other thing a quick shot here. We will do this. How's that? We good? We good? No, my super tips has not worked. The chat, the text has always worked really well, but the voice super tips have never really worked. And no, I am muted, my mic laptop. You are hearing double. All right. 1 sec, and we shall fix all of this. I don't want to remove myself, do I? Give me 1 second there, ladies and gentlemen, and we will go back. Learning, learning, learning. Now we should be good. All right, we're going to try one more thing because I may have screwed something up. Mostly because our friend spent like 2 hours on it today. All right. Hold, please. I need to put in a virtual background so y'all don't see the big old mess behind me. All right. And I got my Schmuel Talk Saturday night, my audio and mic, and my headphones. You can hear me now, but you cannot use super tips. So there we go. Sorry about that, kids. Kind of amazing. So there's not a lot going on tonight. I wanted to talk a little bit about a letter that I saw earlier today from Mrs. Imholt to Court Imholt. And then I want to ask you guys a question. And let's just see if I can get that going. I know, Mint Diggity, I can always count on you. Unfortunately, we can't hear you. I'm sorry. I went back old school. I'm streaming straight through, shit. Yeah, I'm streaming straight through uh, StreamYard. So no OBS, which means I can't get in there. Um, yeah, Pat has Sue Costello on. I know I'm headed in there at about 9 o'clock, and Pat Dixon is sticking it to you. He's sticking it to everybody. I was actually talking to him last night, and I was telling him that YouTubers my size are all bent out of shape because since he's gone back on, our views have gone into the toilet. But it is what it is. What can we do? It's not. It is. There we go. Maybe. Maybe I'm doxing myself. And I don't really want to do that, do I? Would I want to do that? I had a friend send it to me on now let's see if we can do this. We're going to try to print it. Yeah. All right. In any event, fuck it. We're just gonna go because I know you all get bored with this shit. So let's go don't save. You think YouTube got Pat again? I hope not. Um, my views haven't changed. Who's kicking off? Um, well, Sue's on there, should be on there now, I think, and then I am going on, and Doug Nelson will be on. Um, so that's it. Johnny Chopsticks. Content has been very weak so far. Yeah, it takes time. He's got uh, definite. He's got to get back to being comfortable doing this. So we'll have to give him some. We're gonna give him some time. But I don't count Pat out. Pat is the consummate, the consummate professional, and he's also one of the funniest people I know. So he'll be cool. Um, but yeah, I'm not really about that. You know, it's certainly better than watching the paint dry. Um, oh, answer my question, weirdo. You didn't ask a question, did you? Oh, way not to answer my question. Weirdo. So creators are kicking off that Pat is back. No, they're not kicking off. They're just there's a bunch of content creators that get like 30, 40 views, and if they get that many, and I guess Pat being on um, is limiting their views. That's all. um, no, Pat will probably start a new one. There's no I haven't gotten any word that anything's happened to Pat. So and I probably would have had something been happening. So let's not there. Who is he affected? I have not heard or seen anything. Well, you do not stream at the same time as he does, right? So I would think you would do that. Do you think Shuli is behind this attack on Pat? No, I don't think there's any attack on Pat. And if there is, let's wait. We'll wait and find out. Um, I have a bottle of Coca-Cola, which I do not have a bottle opener for, but I do have a pair of pliers. And in college physics, I learned how to open up. Um, I learned how to open up a bottle with a pair of pliers. So we might try that on stream in about a minute and see. Um, so no answer. Who's been affected by Pat BYB? I don't know about BYB. I mean, I assume it's BYB, but there's a couple of other people, and it's not my business to say who they are. It's up to them. So I'm not going to do that. Send Sue Costello the link and see if your channel is taken down. Yeah, I really don't know. I don't know anything about Sue Costello other than she had a show, I think, on Fox, and she also sued, may still be suing NBC for some kind of harassment or something. And you literally just said people are being affected and followed it up by avoiding telling us who. So annoying. I'm sorry, but those people told me that in confidence, but I don't think, and I also think it's pretty easy to figure out there, Eckel. I mean, just look around and see what's happening. Um, anyway, I'm thrilled that you guys are here tonight. I've been sort of dabble versed out of it because I've been working. Everybody and their uncle was on, and right now with Pat down, you are the one. The pressure is on. You can do it. I'm good, man. I don't feel pressure. Um, I got nothing to lose here. This is this is this is all a win for me. I think Pat gets Squid says Pat gets like 50 viewers. I think Pat I think Pat probably gets like 150. But who knows? We'll have to see. So did you all get to see if you haven't looked on YouTube my thumbnail, which was very cool. It was made for us by Luigi Greenberg, and he actually took the Nosferatu picture and put my face on it. And the wife has said she cannot unsee it, and it's perfectly me. So the only thing I don't think I do is drink blood. I really don't remember how to do this. There used to be I got it. And I didn't break the bottle. Congratulate old Schmuel, the 100-year-old man. Sue Costello has aged like fine wine. Only the hair stood up well. I don't want to break it to you, but fine wine gets better as it ages. If it's kept correctly. But when you're young, it's pretty goddamn hard to you forget to keep it correctly, and I certainly can't do it. Um, Big W, congrats, Schmuel. Thank you, thank you. Um, yeah, I really like the that's the dog shaking. I really like the Nosferatu picture. I also like the other picture that I want done, which I'm going to try to do myself, is sorry, kids. Why did he do this? The game mute for this mic is locked. Game lock. Jesus Christ. There we go. Much better, I think. People coming in, dogs shaking, all sorts of freaking noise going on in here. So there we go. Yeah, the Nosferatu is great. I can try to pull it up for those of you that have not got to see it, but I do not know. Let's just say you can hear. I am normally in this part of town by myself when I stream, but I have visitors. Being the visitor is the woman whose place it was when we first met, and so that young lady walked in the door, and the dog got excited, and we all made a ton of noise, and there you go. And let's see if this opened. It did not. How about this one? Ah, yeah, there it is. It's perfect. 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 So I am going to attempt to share this image with you all. How good is that, right? Did he catch my essence or not? It, it's it's really amazing, and I was totally blown away when he did it. I didn't ask for it. It just showed up in my box, so it was awesome. Um, so it's a great thumbnail. So the other pick I want to have done is, do you guys remember in Bride of Frankenstein, the doctor that comes and visits? Um, that's the guy who I wanted to have done as well. So we'll get that done eventually. Shit, I got tobacco in my teeth. All right. Well, what can I tell you? So let's run through the chat real quick. We have a whopping 40 people watching us on YouTube. The pressure is on old Schmuel. So we're going to have to do it. So the only things I've kept up with today were the court letter that Aaron's mom sent to the judge because he's being sentenced next week. And, they try to influence the judge and say all that stuff about, what a great person he is and those kinds of things. But this letter is pretty goddamn pathetic for a lot of reasons. But one of the reasons that I hear from a lot of you guys is so it seems like there's a lot of people that have not grown up, and this letter sounds like one of those letters. Somebody's pushing his bowl around because he knows if somebody new is home, that possibly they will feed him as well. And that is probably not going to happen. So, Echo, I sent you the link if you want to come on and break my balls, because I know how much you love doing that. So, yeah, so in any event, I'm going to pull up this Aaron letter, which I think was from, I think her handle is Slam Piece, and it is, and we follow each other. And let me put this up, and you guys can see it, and then tell me if what you think. Would you want your mom writing this letter if you were a 38-year-old father of why is this not presenting? That's weird. It should be. It should be. Oh, there we go. Had to double click it. Um, I can barely hear him. Now I sound like PSP. I put the link in super tips, guys. Ah, very funny. Um, not that I wouldn't expect it, but we're on there, and I can adjust the mic. That's not a big deal. All right. I kind of knew this was going to be a clusterfuck because we had done so much work on this today that it just seemed likely that that would be what happened. Because nothing has ever been as simple in this, and that's the deal. Uh, Sorry, we got the wife asking about the dog, and as much as I love you guys and you're the best, I get way more from her than I do from you. So let me. I get you've probably had enough time to read this, but I'm going to go ahead and read it. To the court, I'm writing this letter on behalf of my son, Aaron Imholt, who is currently before the court. As a parent, I want to share a personal perspective on the man he has become and the growth I have witnessed in him. There was a time when my son went down a difficult and destructive path. Like many young people, he made choices that led to serious consequences. As a parent, it was heartbreaking to watch him struggle, but I never gave up hope that he would find his way back. Over the past year, I've watched my son take full responsibility for his actions and make meaningful changes in his life. He has worked hard to rebuild what was broken both within himself and relationship. He is now working steadily to improve and carries himself with maturity and a sense of purpose that I had long hoped to see. I wish people behind me would stop making noise. I am proud of the man he is becoming. He has shown true growth, humility, and determination to live a life he and all of us can be proud of. I believe in his future and hope that the court can recognize the progress he has made, give him the opportunity to continue on this positive path. Thank you for your time, for considering this letter as a testament to my son's character and rehabilitation. Um, this is like unbelievable to me, right? Um, you're 38 years old, you're the father of three kids, and your mother is describing you as young people, uh, which was only a year ago, right? He's been a piece of shit uh, forever. And yet, here's mom defending him again. I'd like to see what the dad's letter would say. The other part of this is I have two things. One, all the judge does is have to turn on his show and watch it one day, and we'll know that, he'll know, she'll know, whatever, that this is complete bullshit. And secondly, I wonder what the letters are like coming from people outside. So I wonder if you guys, not not my chat, because you guys don't do that stuff, but I'm just wondering, like, what kind of letters could this guy be receiving? And he's got this is for the Kayla case, and I could imagine that um, she's got to be like, he's never apologized, he's never shown any contrition, nothing. And so how did he grow? Like, what's the difference between the guy? He gets on the radio every day and lies, and he's only been reunited with his family since the divorce. I mean, it was a year ago, right? A little more than a year ago, January of 2024, or later, uh, that he was convicted of violating the harassment restraining order. Then he got into that stuff. It's, you know, at least at least have a little time. Um, I've told streamers repeatedly to keep it down. I'm trying to sleep. Schmuel listens. I do my best, man. Um, I don't know how I got in this chat, but I'm here, so let's go. Young old vibes. Schmuel needs to talk about the Quad papers. It's worse than the Tampa papers. You're gonna have to tell me what the Quad papers are. Is Quad going at Chad? Chad, or is that just a rehash of old stuff? I totally don't know what's going on with that, but we could certainly get it into that in a few minutes. So in any event, Aaron. I don't say a lot about Aaron. I don't really talk about him that much because I just dislike him, and I think he's a piece of garbage. Um, but more importantly, having been a child once myself, I know that's hard to believe. Um, what a shit dad he is. What he got into uh, with all this crap, and the embarrassment that he must be to his kids, and the fact that he goes on that stream every day, and his oldest daughter is probably 11 or 12. I can't believe that the poor kid's not embarrassed every day in school. I hope to God she changes her last name and moves, uh, that they can move the family. But everything else that he's told us has been bullshit. So why wouldn't this be as well? And that's it. Um, so Rudy Bag is here. Hey, Rudy. Yo, Schmuel. Hey. Um, hey, Taz. I'll be seeing you in a few. Um, I believe. And although I've heard something happened to your stream, which is why I have a couple of viewers here. So, so Taz, do you want to? Big W's asking Taz what happened. That would be, yeah. If you could offer an explanation, that would be great. All right. What is my volume problem? Is it me or is it my mic? Because I feel like I'm yelling, and I don't want to be yelling. So how about we do that? I don't know if that's any better. My mic is set on max. Um, oh my God. Per Taz, you heard it here first, kids. Fuck that TM Zumach. Uh, Pat's video got reported. Oh my God. Well, we know where that's coming from. Uh, Jesus Christ, could we just leave this fucking guy alone and let him make a living? My God. Um, Cigarette Jones, you're right, but I'm not going to put that in the chat. Um, out of respect, because Taz is here. For what to get taken down like that suggests nudity. Um, could have been, you know, who's hoping. We think it's, you know, who. Wow. Um, and we have no idea what it was reported for, correct? I mean, he hasn't done anything that his video would get reported. So he may have to go back and delete all of his old videos. But that's just insane. Although it's not unlike YouTube to give with one hand and take away from it with the other. What a bunch of fucking whiny bastards we are here. So, um, what a load of bullshit. And this is the stuff, man. I'm so fucking tired of this. I'm tired of Brennan calling comedy clubs. Chad, come on, Chaz. Chad calling comedy clubs, trying to get people canceled. It's just such bullshit. And this goes back to my people not growing up stuff. I am so done with guys that just fucking their lives are streaming. Like 100% of the time, it's YouTube and video games and not getting out and not interacting with people. And I hate to say it, but when I meet some of these guys at like these DabbleCon events and Hackmania and whatnot, it kind of blows me away because they're like no girlfriends, no girlfriend in forever. And it's like, when are you gonna get out of your basement? And you're like you're like in your mid fucking 30s. It's time. You're gonna wind up living like Joey C. And Chad does like 6 hours a week of streaming. Um, right, and I wasn't referring to Chad as an asexual middle, though I could. I was referring to Chad for being a scumbag and reporting people. So there we go. Mr. Panhandler. I'll never get out of my basement, Grandpa. Yeah, I rose Mr. Panhandler's blood this afternoon just for shits and giggles. All right, so I thought I was going to come on here and do a very quick stream because I was going on Pat's on at 9. I guess that doesn't look like it's going to happen. So if you kids will bear with me a second, I am going to pop the link out to a few people and see if and uh, they can take it, and we will maybe get a co-host in here. And the guy that I want most is NJ Ranger, not because he's the most fantastic in the world, but more because it annoys the shit out of Dean and Eckel. But I sent the link. I sent the link. Um, I'm sending the link to Dan from Nice Podcasts. I was going to recommend it real quick, but we'll talk about it. Ooh, should we send a link to? Yes, we will. Let's send a link to Ray DeVito. I never do that. And my other buddy, OG Mumbling Nick, he can come on. We can talk politics and yell at each other. And not that anybody's going to respond to these. All right, so I sent the link out to a few people. Zimbo and time it is in Perth, Australia. We'll send the link out to Dean. And there we are. So thank you for doing that, guys. NJ Ranger, Leo Gunn, Hypocrisy Police. Let's go back up and see what Liam said. Shit show. That's not a horrible idea. I could do that too. Um, Good night, Echo. Everyone keep an eye on Schmuel's stream whilst I sleep. Don't mess with him in the audio again. Um, Leo, can you get Schmuel to lose that background noise? Normally I can, but I'm in a very kind of a smallish place tonight, and I don't have a lot of choice in the matter. The air conditioner is on, and even though I have a filter for that, it is not really working. The high pass filter. It's set at 150. Should I set it at 75, Peter Sky Park? Will that matter? I don't know. I just changed it. Let's see if that helps at all. Um, and we could go a little, I'll go a little dark on my tone, see if that helps. Really want to fuck with you. I'll put on the, what do you call it? The reverb. But that would just be annoying. All right. This Pat stuff is late news. Actually, speaking of which, let's send. We'll send. I'll send Derek the link. And he tends to have a much better insight on. Let's just see. All right, so Derek has has the link too. All right, let me go back to some of these chats because I think we're missing some of the stuff. All right. I guess I need to move the mic closer, although the manual says move it away. But let's go. Oh, we got Permaseal Finishing in here. Sorry, it's funny how the noise bothers you. Bothers me, but you much more. And Nodak says the audio sounds perfect to me. You know, when I came in originally into Dalaverse, they used to constantly tell Bob Levy that he was muted when he wasn't, and he'd lose his fucking mind. It was just hilarious. Um, Metal Schmuel is in over his head. Story of my life, man. Been over my head since I can remember. I'm always happy to do shit. So yeah, we're not gonna get PDP without Apple Pineapple. You know, we're not gonna get PDP tonight. Um, I don't know that anyone is coming on. We will blame Doug this time. You know, hopefully it's just the AI virtual shit that got it, and we can clear it up. And it's funny because everybody was looking so forward to Sue Costello. I haven't heard. I haven't heard much. Shmuel, have you been working out? Your shirt looks tight. Yeah, right. Cool. This is my SS Minnow shirt. 3-hour tours, and we're all going. Taz, I'm hoping that too, Mr. Shmuel. Taz, if you or Pat would like the link, let me know. I'd be happy to send that to you. Big Kahuna, send PSP the link. That's been done over and over again, and Peter doesn't like the link. He just likes to complain about me in the chat, which is fine because I like Peter. And so, all right. We sent the link out to people. They're all going to let me hang here by myself tonight. Matto, it wasn't automatically taken off when that was shown. It was like 10 minutes later. I think it would have been taken off immediately, right? Yeah, wouldn't Matto just, wouldn't they just take it down? Or make you demonetize, or I don't know. But you guys are clean now, right? Taz? And you're clean as far as like copyright strikes and stuff, I believe. Taz. So worst case scenario, this is like a week and you get 30 days or 7 days or something like that. And Ranger, before you pop in, I just want to do cupcakes chat. Did you send Meth Head Mel the link? Oh my God, I saw that last night. What a goddamn shit show that is. The Meth Head Mel and Joey. And he is definitely the world's greatest interviewer in our time. So I just, he's the kind of guy that would, he'd be walking down the street, a body would be thrown out a window, land in front of him, and instead of remarking on the poor guy being thrown out the window, Joey would complain about how the guy got in his way. So that's where we go there. NJ, what's going on, buddy?
What's up, Shmuel? I saw that you had a little technical difficulty earlier. I thought that my phone was fucking up or my phone battery died, but that was not the case.
Oh, it was my technical difficulty. Yeah. Oh, look at this. We've got look who joined us.
Sup, pussies?
Mr.
Oh,
Dave
cousin
Sarah.
Dave.
Dave. So Pat apparently got struck and his stream was taken down.
Aw, why? Why now? What happened this time?
Not really sure yet.
That's gay.
Could be reported, or it could be that he had something from Matto up there that resulted in a copyright thing.
Matt. Oh,
Rachel Maddow,
Rachel Maddow. What is Rachel Maddow's show on? Is it? It's not on
MSNBC.
YouTube, is it?
MSNBC.
Oh yeah. I mean, definitely. I always thought news was free use like that, and they don't really strike, but maybe they do. I don't know.
No,
Maybe
they do.
Rachel Maddow does.
They definitely do strike because I remember somebody put up played a news clip and they got struck. So I don't know how that works, but it's almost like, it could be fair use, but you've got to prove it after it's already been taken down. So um, does it really matter? Why am my numbers? Because I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot, fellas. Have we established that?
Let's
I
go
don't
over it
really,
again.
I don't really get. What did we hear? Um, I do know you get struck for news content, any content on any of those things. Like if it's I think maybe if it was an independent station, you get away with it. But like Fox and NBC and those guys, they strike everything. Um, and then, even if you were right to do it, it's after that's over with. It messes you up in the meantime, but they rely on him. That's why people don't. I follow a lot of the prosperity gospel guys, the word of faith guys, and their shenanigans. And like, you cannot put up a Joel Osteen clip without altering it to the point of it almost being unlistenable because he will strike you. And that's what, like, Daystar, those supposedly Christian stations, that's what they do. And it's like, you can win, like you'll win in the end, but it doesn't matter because the stream you did was taken down and you're left to fight it. And I have a friend that did Osteen struck him. He appealed it. They gave him 10 days to file a lawsuit, and Osteen's people did something, which then extended it like another 20 days, but never actually filed an actual lawsuit. It was like a
Right.
motion or something like that. And basically, it
Yeah.
was like to teach him not to do it again. Like, and
Right.
so it's crazy.
Yeah, I think, yeah. And if you do that too many times, I think your channel can get essentially taken down if you strike too many times and lose
Yes.
appeals.
Right. But I don't think they lost it. That's what it was like. In the end, this went on for 30 days and it just sort of ended. But it wasn't like, I mean, I don't know the process because I haven't been struck yet. But it went on for a long time, and then in the end, it was just over with. It wasn't like, but I also think that the bigger you are, if you're an Osteen and you're getting, 300, 400,000 or a million views a week, you can get away with a lot more copyright striking people and losing than, say, a Stuttering John could. So,
Yeah.
yeah, this is fun.
Yeah, I think, 2 points.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, even Squid in chat was saying that the whole automated striking system is bullshit. Yeah, like look at remember when Garrett and Steve got taken off? We've talked about this before. Garrett and Steve were playing that Court TV, like not Court TV, but we're showing what's her name? One of the like the court shows, and the one that Kumia's brother was on, Joe Kumia or whatever his name is, and they got so yeah, they got struck. So like, it's weird because you'd think if you're gonna get struck, like there's as soon as you start playing it, it's just taken down. Like, but the fact that like they let it go for a little bit and then the servers have to register it and then the algorithm has to read it, and depending on how busy they are, how busy their computers are working, and how many times it's refreshing, is gonna matter how quickly you get taken off, or which is weird, I guess. But yeah, they have to like sync and everything. So
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't think it's very easy to while you're live to strike, like to mob strike somebody. So like you would have to have dozens and dozens of people striking it while it's live in order for something to be taken down like manually like that. So it must have been something like a television show or something.
Right, but let's not forget the Joe Cumia thing was an entertainment show. It wasn't court TV. It was like the People's Court or something.
Yeah. People's Court.
So that's like, so it might be different if you did a Channel 7 news story, you know?
Yeah.
Well, that's the
Rachel
difference.
Yeah,
Oh, I'm sorry.
No,
Go ahead,
go
Dave.
on. I was just gonna say Rachel Maddow's show might be considered entertainment.
Well, that's the thing. I know that at least in my experience, you can use shit that's from broadcast news. All good. They don't give a fuck. I don't really have much experience using clips from whatever MSNBC, CNN, cable news. But I could see them being like, "Oh, well, this is already innately kind of paywalled on some level. You don't just get it on your fucking TV." And so.
Right. And both Rachel Maddow and Tucker Carlson admitted in various lawsuits that their shows were entertainment, not news, and their commentaries. So I don't know, how it all works, but I think those guys are big enough that they can they're not like you or me that have to think about it. They can just strike first and deal with the consequences later.
Yeah, and I mean a lot of guys. I mean, even at KB's level, which is not very high.
Number
or like
two.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying, like in the grand scheme of things, I think that's a great idea, Peter Sky Parker. Anyway, I feel like at those really high levels, like hundreds of thousands of subscribers, you get like a rep, or you get somebody that reaches out to you, like if there's an issue, or you can
a
go
ball
in
washer.
Yeah. I wonder if like some kind of rep or somebody on the inside. It seems like a lot of these people, they always have somebody on the inside that can help them with something.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I've I was watching a video by a guy who talks about YouTube and the AI and stuff. And once you get past 100,000 followers, you get the 100,000 plaque, but then you get a person you can talk to at YouTube. And then as it goes up, the person becomes more and more important at YouTube. So you could just get on the phone and call and say, "Oh, I have a problem," and they can fix it. So that's it. Hey, NJ, do me a quick fave. Just look and see if Pat is live. I mean, I guess he's not. But,
shit, he's supposed to have Stu Costello on today, huh?
Yeah, and Schmuel Buckman.
Sura Costello.
Sura.
The more important of the two. Yeah, I was so looking forward. One of my favorite things to do on YouTube is to go on any stream with Doug Nelson, and Doug and Pat are great together, and we were going to do that tonight. And
your boy is not live right now.
Yeah, I didn't think so. Okay. It sucks. I will send Pat a text asking him if he wants a link here. So talk, you two. Dave, you never shut up.
Hi.
Keep talking now.
My name is Dave. We are looking at venues for the very first inaugural MI Degenerate show. I've called a few places, spoke to the peoples. We are in line. I got to go check out a couple places tomorrow. Hopefully the internet will be good. But ladies and gentlemen, the MI Degenerate show, AIDS Live, or Live AIDS, whatever you want to call it, it's going to be coming to a Los Angeles city near you. So hopefully when I get everything hammered out, I'll ask KB if I could come on and promote it. But we're looking like we're gonna be good. We're looking like we're gonna be good.
Like you're doing it.
Like we're doing it. Like we left. Like Schmuel ruined it for us last year when he got the rec room closed down for trying to throw a show there. And so I was supposed to have my show at the rec room. Now we're gonna have to find another place, but it's okay. We're almost there.
Have you considered the Tennessee Avenue Beer Hall?
I'm sorry. Say that one more time. For whatever reason, my audio is choppy, and I know it's not me. I know it's not you guys.
Okay, good. The Tennessee Avenue Beer Hall.
Yeah.
Exactly, Jeff, with lanyards.
Personally speaking,
still open.
The Tennessee Beer Hall would be a decent size for what I'm trying to do. I'm really only looking. I would like a place that seats 100. So if I sell 100 tickets, it'll be good. I'm not expecting to sell 100 tickets, but 100 is the goal. So yes, but I need something with good internet and I need power speakers. So if the place doesn't have powered speakers or internet, then I can't do it. But as long as it has powered speakers, we're good because I can bring the Rodecaster, bring my HDMI portal, the 2 or 3 cameras that I'm going to use, live on YouTube, live at the comedy club. Let's fucking do it, baby.
And also, you got the hat now, right?
And I got the hat.
I got a hat.
Thank you very much.
Give me one sec, guys. I am actually texting back and forth with Pat, so give me one sec here.
Okay.
Take your time, big
as
dog.
we're boring it.
All right, so let's see. What's been going on in Dabbleverse lately? I don't know. I like that Kevin's been going after Brendan Schaub lately. It's really getting his numbers up a little bit.
Bro, of all people, you know me, that this is like my my 2 interest areas are aligning.
Oh, wait, really? You still homeless?
I am
homeless cat?
I am a homeless cat because
know that.
again, my interest vector to the Dabbleverse was through Red Bar and Rinks
yes.
and Baba
Little
or
Rinks.
Red Bar
Right.
Fools. I'm also a
Royalty.
huge, yeah, exactly. I'm a huge Ryan Callen hater. Ryan Callen's
Yeah.
a piece
Oh.
of shit.
Why do you say that?
It's not, in the words of our esteemed president. It's not just me, folks. Okay, you got a lot of women saying that Ryan Callen put his hands on them in a very nasty way. Okay.
The 2 things about Callen. I was a huge 10-minute podcast fan. I always had this a soft spot for Callen and D'Elia and, of course, Will Sasso. When all this stuff happened, it's tough to just, convert.
Sure.
I'll say one thing. First of all, the final nail in the coffin for me with Callen was Skankfest 2022 when he did Fire and the Kid. Callen was the most insufferable person I've ever seen or heard on a podcast that day. And I'm convinced that the reason Bappa is hated the way he is, or like kind of acts the way he is, but mostly a lot of the hate, I think is Callen's fault. And I think Callen is just, he's first of all, he's not genuine. I met him once at a Tripoli show,
Really?
and he literally just very, how should I put it? Like his head is in the sky. He's not like looking to schmooze with any of the fans or whatever. He's very reserved and back into. He's very Hollywood kind of a guy, and he just seems like he's insufferable is the only word that I can, and I use that word a lot, but he is.
Hey everybody, it's me, Brian Callen. I'm gonna be at the Irvine Improv this weekend. I'm a man. Actually, maybe that's where Carmen got the man talk from. I'm a man. I'm a man, dragon.
Hey, man.
Chris
Hey,
Mack.
man.
I'd be willing to consider overlooking the rape if he wasn't an arrogant, entitled, funny piece of shit who also happens to be the scion of a FCR CIA globalist banker. Did I mention he's a douche canoe?
Yeah. Okay.
have said it
First
better
of all, too,
myself.
when I first heard the story and read the article, I'm reading it, and I'm like, okay, yeah, this is he says, she says, and then I read the quote from him, and his quote apparently was, "Oh, what am I, a big bad rapist now?" And I'm like, "Oh, that sounds exactly like Callan. That sounds exactly like something he would say."
Bro, that's the thing. Like, maybe if these were just 4 random accusers, first of all, 4 random accusers, 4 more than I got. But anyway, if he didn't have the track record of saying, "Oh, women biologically, like, oh, they have a thing to be raped." He's always talking about Genghis Khan. One time, he's telling a story about
Women want to
yes,
be raped.
yeah, exactly. He's talking about one time, I think from the Comedy Store, that Whitney was going to drive him home. Okay, he gets in the car. She puts the key in the ignition or gets her seatbelt on or some shit. And this motherfucker pulled his dick out. It's like, okay, bro, she's driving you home. Like, presumably, if you had an ounce of game or forethought, it's like, okay, you're already going back to the place. Why did you have to immediately whip your shit out? Like, then it's just not. And she was, to Whitney's credit,
she's a comic.
It was exactly that. Oh, she's one of the guys. Yeah. So yeah, to your point, with that all in context, it's like, as my old man would say, shit does not happen in a vacuum.
Yeah. She heard, he heard Sarah Silverman on Howard Stern talking about Louis C.K. He's like, yeah, he asked me to jerk off in front of him. It wasn't a big deal. We used to get naked all the time and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, Callan listened to that and was like, oh, yeah, I mean, she's a comic, no problem. Just whip my dick out on the car. No problem.
Well, that was a long-term old bit with Jay Moore when he was on Opie and Anthony, right? That he would, like, take his dick out and then be like, because it would get hard, and he'd, like, take it out and go, look at what you did. What are we going to do about this?
Sure, maybe, yeah. I mean, I guess a lot of that has to do with, drug and alcohol use. It seems like Callan kind of did that sober almost. So relatively sober, I guess. Now, not that is an excuse that he was fucked up, Jay Moore was fucked up when he did it, but like, yeah, I mean, I don't, that's also a story for Opie and Anthony. I mean, they used to piss in each other's oatmeal, so I don't know.
It's also the like time and place thing. I mean, Moore did it before it became a thing, and so that's why a lot of these guys got away with it. But it's very funny to me because I do laugh about a lot of these guys thought this was great. This is what being a top comedian is all about. I can just have any broad I want. I can grab them by the pussy and they're going to want more, Little did they suspect what was going to happen.
I mean, I think in Callan's instance, it's more of like a Hollywood actor kind of a thing because even KB was saying, like, yeah, like Brian Callan was bigger than Joe Rogan at one point, And like, obviously that's changed. But like, comics, I don't think really, for the most part, except for very recently, because comics have gotten so much play and in the social media, that like it's only been recently kind of cool to be a comic. And comics were never like, sure, they're good at talking because they're good at talking, so they might be good at. And if you're at a comedy club and you go up and you do well, then girls are maybe more susceptible to you becoming putty in your hands. But I don't think that it's like I don't think it's historically been like a very comic thing to do to be like a womanizer. But I don't know.
I disagree. I would think it would be a very comic thing to do, particularly when they get up into stardom, and they go from comedy into other areas.
I mean, it's a good point. It's a good point.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, I can see them being womanizers, like bullshit artists.
Well, you also think you can get it, and you think you're entitled to it,
I guess.
And if you're thinking like Callan was thinking, as NJ Ranger pointed out before, it's like you think they want it. This is what they want. And I also went to college at a time where you'd sleep with people one night, and
yeah, but you were fucking before STDs even existed.
A lot of regret going on and whatnot, but it never amounted to anything. And like, look, I get grooming, but if you've got two people basically the same age, right? Like, how how is their grooming? How is there and how many girls have slept with, the high school football star, right? And then the guy ditched them the next morning, and then they regretted it. You know,
After making white.
after
Yeah.
making white. All right.
Now,
So,
now think about how many girls regretted sleeping with the head snare drummer in high school.
luckily,
not-
that
it's
was
an-
that was
it's
the
a-
bottom of the that was the that was a
Yeah, it was already there. It was at rock bottom.
way
Nowhere but up from here.
way down. It
Oh,
was like
speaking of rock
sleeping
bottom.
with your RA in college.
Ooh, speaking of rock bottom, my rape assistant. Okay, sorry. I'm sorry. I don't want to get a community notes for rape now. I'm gonna stop saying it. Okay, the Rock Bottom podcast, Mr. Ray DeVito. So a couple months ago, I've been on this comment campaign. Every time comedians opening cards, no coffee makes a post, I say. You got to show up at the stand on Tuesday, the first Tuesday of every month, and get Ray DeVito on this fucking show. And I kept leaving messages, and we got Ray DeVito on the show.
Yes.
And it's in the can, apparently, according to the guy who runs the channel. It's in the can. So we'll see it in July. Comedians opening cards, no coffee with Ray DeVito. So everybody's got to go
Wow.
watch.
I
Raymond
did say
DeVito.
to answer Mint Diggity. Yeah, did you send Ray the link or what? Yes, I did, quite a while ago. And if I send Ray a text or anything right now related to something that he's even remotely interested in, I will get a response within 3 minutes. And I promise you that it will not be until tomorrow afternoon that I get something back that says, "Oh, I just saw this." So,
Jump on, Ray.
I mean, why would I go on his show? Because I can get super chats on my show. uh, but all
Well,
right.
Ray is starting to understand that, like, if he ain't going to make money doing a show and get ridiculed on said show anyway, so if he's going to get ridiculed by presumably Kevin Brennan or whoever, he might as well make money. At least he learned that. Good for him.
Good job, Ray.
He has, what do you call it though? I disagree. I mean, he's not making money on. I don't want to talk about Ray, but he's not making money on his streams, right? Kevin hasn't been paying him unless something has changed.
Okay.
He gets frustrated because what happens is he goes on Kevin, and then people super chat shit to Kevin while Ray is on about Ray. It doesn't translate into super chats for Ray, but yet he keeps going back on to Brennan, and I don't get it. And it's the, I just want to smooth things over, man. All right. So I'm going to give you the Dixonian update, which is, it was his intro video, had a war scene in it. And that is what has created the problem. So hopefully he can get that straightened out. But, and then I asked the question, why don't young people, like, why isn't anybody growing up? It's because they're afraid to take any risks. Because the consequences are so bad for such simple, stupid stuff,
Yeah. It's unfortunate that he got popped for something like that.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous. Schmuel, I've been defending you against people who say you want to have relations with Pat. Very funny, Frank. Frank, I am. My deal is with people. I like Pat. Pat and I are friendly or whatever. I'm not good enough to make funny jokes about Pat. But I don't like being wishy-washy with my feelings towards people, so that's what it is. And we don't talk about Pat a lot, but he's back, and I'm happy for him that he's back. So there you go. Not much else I can say on that subject. So it's very funny. I hope to see you on Karmic tonight, Dave. The question is, will Karmic be able to see him? So, oh man, Panhandler. Oh, stop! Your entire channel is patronage. only when he's interesting. But look, I would have had to have ignored all of the Karmic Taz stuff completely to not have talked about it in Alaska. And Karmic's a topic, right? I can't avoid that, and I think it's pretty shitty. So I'm going to talk about it. I'm not going to be told by you people what I can and cannot talk about. I'm not
don't
that
let
kind of
them
person.
don't let them censor you.
Don't let the. I'm not being ruled by the chat,
Mm.
and that's just the way it is. No, I look, whatever, man. But yeah, somebody put it back in here. So we haven't talked about this yet, but did you see the Felicia Karmic thing from the other night, where
Yes, I
she was
did.
kind of trashing KB and then KB's response to it and whatnot? I do love the part where she says, where Karmic said, and it's one of the few things that I've seen him say that was enlightened, when he asked her if she's become Ray DeVito. And it like completely threw her off. And Jesus, I wonder if it opened I wonder if it opened her eyes.
Yeah, well, I feel like in the same vein as the WATP guys and the TSN guys always referring to somebody, oh, this guy's the new Stuttering John, that they're looking for somebody to be the new Stuttering John. And I get it. That's their cash cow. It's like saying like, oh, I'm in the horse and buggy business. Will this new Model T be the new horse and buggy? It's like, yeah, of course you're looking for that. If you have any sense. I think that similar to that is somebody being Ray, but also in another, I'm not going to say in a better or worse, but another pejorative sense. Like, is Chad the new, well, not necessarily new, but is Chad Ray? Is Felicia Ray? Like, are any of these other guys? Is Karmix when he is on MLC rather than on his own show, and he's just kind of like a hapless little buddy for KB? Is he Ray? It's got a sting.
Yeah, it's because it's, he gets such abuse, and none of those people anyway believe that Kevin cares about Ray one way or the other than what it brings in financially. And Felicia's like, he was guiding my career, and I'm just like, oh man, this is how you want to help me. And if you get within anywhere near him, you got to know that this is about him. You have to figure out how to make it work for you, like Karmic is doing, not the other way around. He's not gonna make it. He's not
Yeah,
helping you. He doesn't care.
when was it explicit or implicit that KB is the manager of his guests? All whatever negative you can say about him, I don't think that, like, the classic, it's not the show. Like, that was never part of the show. And to have that expectation, again, I'm just some asshole watching it, so what the fuck do I know?
Right.
But it seems like a little bit of a, I'm reaching.
Yeah, I was thinking about what you just said. First, Deft, I didn't mean it like that, Schmuel. I'm not sure how you're taking that comment. Brandon, I don't even know what we're talking. I don't know what comment we're talking about. I'll try to go back through the chat and figure it out. But however you took it, you're wrong. I always mean the answer in the best possible light. Um, no, but I was thinking about you with these guys, like, oh, we've got to find the next Stuttering John, right? So your choices are, assuming the world stays the way the world is, you're going to find a diluted Stuttering John, right? You're not you're he's a once in a lifetime thing, or you're doing the cars come in and you still got the horses, and the guy is not understanding why his new buggy whip doesn't sell like it used to, even though he
Yeah.
keeps improving it and inventing it. Um, yeah, and frankly, my opinion would be I don't think again there is going to be no new Stuttering John, but I also wouldn't say I was looking for a new Stuttering John. I would have kept that to myself because now all you're doing is you're giving people the opportunity to say, "Oh, you just want another Stuttering John. You just want another
Exactly.
Stuttering
It's
John."
complete wish casting. And I believe that the reason why that is external and not an internal thing like you're suggesting is one like the hubris of people who have already struck gold once. And combined with, I'm going to say, a little bit of insecurity, because as I was alluding to before, this motherfucker was there slash is still, even in his absence, their cash cow. So like, oh, we already made quote unquote one Stuttering John. We can make Aaron Imholt. Let's cover Aaron Imholt with Anthony Cumia. Let's not mention the fact that Ant was trying to have him on Compound. That's not relevant.
Yeah, I was it's interesting. I was thinking about lottery winners and one of the things that happens to lottery winners, particularly the big lottery winners, like they're the smaller ones, and that's usually they go back to who they were
Yeah.
shortly after they win the money. You know, guys that win a few 100,000 or even a million wind up as broke in 5 years as they were before. But those ones that have won 25 or 30 million or whatever, you interview them in a few years and they think they earned it. Like that's in it in it's just shocking and amazing. And it's like, no, you hit the lottery. You just got lucky, you know?
Yeah.
Time and place. But isn't entertainment like riddled with that though? Like oh, we're just gonna take this formula, plug this in. But it doesn't work that way. I mean, they say Seinfeld was a new idea. I wonder if it was just the right cast at the right time, mixed in with a few new things.
Yeah, at least Seinfeld didn't have the. I mean, it's a sitcom, so to say that like you can't, if you're going to be pedantic about it, you can't be like, okay, there's no formulaic aspect of it, but the uh, overt emphasis on it being basically a show about nothing, where even compared to other and like actually there are it's not a traditional sitcom in terms of like at the end of the episode everything completely resets. There is some whatever overarching stuff, but that kind of a sitcom that has just like dumbass, completely sometimes not even contrived, but like day in and day out bullshit as the plot, rather than more explicit. Here's something big that's happening this episode. It's all dumb shit, and I think that was innovation. But there's a lot of like, oh, we have this rote formula. I mean, look at the Housewives shows. You have one thing in New York, and then okay, this is now a business model that we can export to who cares, wherever the fuck you want to have a Housewives.
Yeah, I except that they're now having problems with their housewives. So I don't know if people are tired of the formula or it just doesn't work in other places, or the third thing is that maybe a lot of these women who got wealthy through marriage are just not that interesting. Um, but I was just reading that they had canceled one like Toronto and someplace else, or they didn't do it because they just can't get it going. But you put the formula together, and the formula works for a while, and then people get tired of it,
Yeah.
right? And move on. And but the worst is when they plug in for me like comedies, situation comedies, where they'll just plug in characters and think, oh, this guy, right? We can just replace this guy with that guy, and it's gonna work. And maybe you can with a minor character, Ted McGinley, um, on Married with Children. it worked, but that's a rare one. Usually those guys come in and then they're gone.
Yeah. It doesn't automatically work in the slightest.
Yeah, not at all. All right, let's handle some of these super chats. Or actually not just chats, but Def Brandon, I think you were talking about Felicia and the turn. Like once you start liking Felicia, then Kevin turns. I think it was the other way, but not not really sure. My feelings haven't changed much about Felicia, except I did like her in that stream with Karmic. I thought it was the first time I got an original Felicia. You know, it, she wasn't talking about Dixon. She was talking about Kevin. She was expressing her real feelings, and I think a lot of the stuff with Dixon, she just had to make stuff up to try to make it interesting. There were some things in the beginning, but it can't continue for that long. I mean, it wasn't a hugely long relationship that you would have all these things. It wasn't like you were married for 20 years. Oh, Stallion 19, Schmuel, any comment on Joey C calling you a woman on Twitter? Well, I've been called a woman by better people than Joey C before.
Pew, 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 pew.
Boom. Fuck Joey C. Just such garbage. We watched that interview last week, and it's all the same Joey C pablum and bullshit that we've gotten before. Yeah, I was a meth addict, but a great dad, and I always took care of my kids. Well, where are those kids now? It's like just this complete denial of history or delusion about what the history was like, and when he says the thing about the grandkids staying there, staying with them and then watching the grandkid, I get like a shiver in my spine because I'm just like thinking that poor kid, like what are they doing to him? So that was my Joey C comment for tonight. And Joey interviewing that crack hoe was hilarious though. It was because he's so inept and she's so inept. Like he had to be paying her for that, right? Like that would,
You presume so.
yeah, because I mean, you don't usually get crack hoes that do things for free, and they're not afraid of asking for money. Only thing, metal. The only thing interesting about him is that juxtaposition. Wow, juxtaposition, word of the evening. But oh yeah, Deft. You don't understand, Schmuel. The government set him up. It's funny, man. He didn't say that the government set him up. What he said was, right, the government steals from everybody. So what he was doing was the same thing as the government, and therefore, morally, it was not a bad thing.
Not unlike Robin Hood, if you think about it.
Oh yes, and we know Robin Hood stealing from the rich and giving to the poor is a big thing. But yeah, Joey he doesn't get it. Right? He doesn't get it. And then, but depending upon who's interviewing him, he will do the government thing, right? The government is garbage and they steal from you and I didn't do anything wrong. And then the next stream, it'll be like, I was convicted and it was wrong and we shouldn't have done it. It depends upon who he's talking to, depends upon what answer you get from him. And he does everything for the audience at the moment, whether it's a person on the street or whether it's on YouTube. And metal, this is a good question. Does Joey C even make money streaming? Define money. I would have to say that the answer is no, but he's making more than I am. So, yes, I mean, compared to other people, yes. Compared to what it takes to fund yourself, an income, that's a little bit different. And he relies on everyone. Socialism, typical Schmuel. Panhandler, you just don't get me. You just don't get me. Panhandler loves to put up the sort of right-wingy tweets, the reposts and stuff. And I always feel the need to comment on them. And today it was an anti-Semitism thing that I responded to. And he was like, I'm done with you. But he's been done with me. And I just told him, I said, he seems too calm lately. I needed something to get his blood boiling. Nice podcast, Stupid Dan. Joey C becomes more unlikable by the day. Am I missing something? Do you have an opinion on that, NJ Ranger?
That implies that he was more likable in a previous state. I don't necessarily see a big degradation in that on Joey C. Although, to be honest, and this has nothing to do with likability, I enjoy the Joey C AI arc. I was not expecting that, and that I feel like is going to be a little gold mine, at least for Rochi and the Pineapple. Those motherfuckers are going to be having a time with that.
Yeah, if he keeps it up. And then he was, but he so doesn't know how to go with the bit, right? Like he does not know yes and. Because yesterday he put up he was changing the name of it to Vincent Vox. And he had all these reasons for, Vox and the people and voice. And you're just like, Uncle Bob was perfect. Like, go with your first instinct.
Yeah,
You
Uncle
know?
Bob.
It was beautiful. So I just, yeah. But that's one of the things that I've noticed about him, aside from the other stuff. He definitely talks a lot about how successful he's been at YouTube. And by any standard of measure, he hasn't really been successful at YouTube. And the amount of money he makes and this stuff, it's like I just don't believe anything he says. And it's like, and the funny part is, it's one thing to lie about things we can't check, but it's another thing to lie about things that are, the answer is a Google search away, right? Or just ask ChatGPT. I mean, it's he did. I think I did look at him on Playboard once, and the numbers were so low, it was like almost unreportable, in that whole bottom.
Yeah, numbers were so low you had to break out a magnifying glass. Am I right? Hi-oh!
Hi-oh! There we go. He's desperate to be seen as a legitimate podcaster, especially by other podcasters in the Dabbleverse. True. True. And he does not, what's the word that I'm looking for? He doesn't understand one of the things about life, and this goes back to this Aaron Imholt being a boy and never growing up kind of thing. At some point in your life, you have to find out where you fit in. And you can excel at that area. Look, you can always try something different, but you basically have to know where you fit in. And that's the part that Joey doesn't seem to understand. Like, the Rocco and those guys keep him around because of what they can do with him and the way they can treat him. But on his own, if he didn't have that, if he didn't have the occasional Rocco or Brennan or Pat Dixon or somebody else kind of making fun and poking fun at him, we wouldn't know who he was. And he was almost gone. He left, right, for the summer, taking a vacation. And then Karmic came around. And it was like, oh, Karmic is, taking all my heat. So he came back with that stuff. And this is very funny, right? Sam Bibley, I have 77 followers. Joey has 7,000. Yeah, and there's definitely questions about that, particularly when you look at his growth over a period of time. Um, Sometimes somebody goes viral and they shoot way up, and other times they put up tweets about a view selling service, and their views also go up. So
Mm.
who knows?
Well, that was something that I pressed Karmic about his whether his growth was organic, in context of Chrissy Mayer. Chrissy Mayer, who is famous for having over 100,000 subs, and I don't remember a time that I saw her with over 300 people in the fucking chat. And when you look again at a place like Playboard or other sites that have those metrics, when your sub count is going up in chunks of 1,000, 2,000, whatever the fuck, okay, that's a little bit of a coincidence how it's only going up like a fucking ziggurat in those numbers. And I remember Karmic was trying to explain that, well, there's this thing on YouTube where you promote a certain video, and I think that Chrissy did that. And then I tweeted out once a screenshot of when Chrissy Mayer had Mario Bosco on. It was like a half an hour in. She had fucking 50 people watching. I tagged this man. I was like, bro, I think that it's time to say that something stinks in the stable. It's like, okay, that's fine. And then he started to acknowledge that maybe Chrissy doesn't have the most organic growth in the world, because if you have more than 100,000 subs, you got fucking 50 people on. All right, that's it's tough sell for me. I was born on a day that ends in Y, but it wasn't yesterday.
The only thing I will say about her is she had all of those porn stars on, and they all have massive followings, and that's where she may have gotten it from. Um, so, because that's the thing, because you look at these porn stars, they giant amounts of people following them.
Sure.
So, I I don't know. I don't know. I get suspicious of stuff. Because sometimes you can see where somebody has steady growth, like over time. Other people you can see have like meteoric growth in a very short period of time, and you can remember when they did something viral, right?
Yeah.
But like you say, with 1,000, 1,000, 1,000, it I don't know. It just seems too structured. And the other thing is too is what I also don't understand is if you were going to buy them, wouldn't you buy them like in odd lots?
You would think, right? But again, it's not like Chrissy Mayer is renowned for her intellect, her originality, her whatever. Yeah, Dan knows. Like it's not some foil hat theory on my part. This has been very well documented, actually.
Yeah, there you go. I'm trying to defend somebody I don't even know. But just to ball wash Dixon, he does tell me that she was very funny at one time. And I I wonder, when I talk to him about that, he's told me that many times. And but I wonder, is it different when you're with a girl, right? And she's funny, and you think everything she does is amazing because you can't, because that's what you do. That's what that's what guys do, right?
Yeah,
So
you gotta ball wash a little bit in a relationship.
are you a bit jaded by that? And then if you want to go back and then say, they were never funny anyway, does that reflect on you? Right?
100%.
So I don't know. I just came up with that. Fake Liam exhaustively documented the fakeness of Chrissy's channel. If only Schmuel's buddy hadn't gotten the account suspended. I don't know who fake Liam is, but
Fake Liam was a great Twitter account.
oh, Liam got it. That's the one that Liam got suspended.
That's who
Right.
he's saying is your buddy.
Oh, then you have not kept up, Josh Denny. You have not kept up, numero uno. Liam despises me. I can't think of a person I talk about less who also says that I stalk him, so that I never leave him alone. You know that I'm obsessed with him, and I'm not. I'm not, and I always think I still think he's very funny because he says shit about people when they're not around, but when they're around, and I'm talking about people that are bigger than him or quicker than him or whatever, he will not insult them or say what his beef is or make negative comments about them to their face. You know?
Well, there's a lot of that going around these days.
No, I get it, but you know, you kind of want to like, you could nicely even bring it up. You could just say, you know, like, I know we haven't gotten along or whatever, but you know, for the peace of the show, we'll do it. Schmuel debating topics proven and known for years. Great job, Schmuel. Where is Dave? So I have a question about this. I have watched a bunch of documentaries about a bunch of people who I've been told are fantastic documentarians, and this is the fact. And then when I go to try to check the information, I find out maybe it's not necessarily what they said. Maybe they made some assumptions in their documentary and use other people's comments as their fact. And I heard who said it today? It was it was Ricada, where he said, you know, a guy writes for 2 magazines, and in the second article, he uses the first article as the proof for the second. So I wonder. So I'm not as jaded by these documentaries, and then I hate getting sucked into them because then I want to find out myself whether or not they're true. I saw the porcelain documentary, I guess it's porcelain, on Mersh.
Yes.
And I'm like, this guy can't be that much of an asshole. And sure enough, he is. All right, listen, Ozone, Schmuel, let's take a break for super tips. Here's the story, man. They will appear on screen, but I'm going to see them at the same time you do. I have a problem with my OBS. I'm streaming straight through StreamYard. And so I am not going to be able to see them, but I can open them up. I'm glad that people are fighting me to send them because I said at the beginning I wasn't going to be able to take them. But, you know, I was very disheartened the other night when I didn't even get a $3 one. It hurt. It hurt, and I had some people on it. And Cigarette Jones says porcelain's retired from the documentary business. I know, I was just using that as an example. And his stuff, that's what I mean, is like that, the one on Merch, I think it was porcelain. I'm 99% sure. It was right on point. And he really is what he is. But I've seen some of these other ones, and they stink. You know, there's a lot of leaping, you know, making assumptions. It reminds me of some of them remind me of the old Dateline NBC thing where they had to put the rockets in the side of the car to get it to turn over. A little old for you guys. All right, Johnny Carson sent us. Wow, $10, Johnny. Thank you so much. Let's hope that you see this. You know what? You will not see it. Shit, Johnny. every time. I will play it on the next show, but it says in Kevin's voice, Dave, next time will you wear your good T-shirt, Ranger?
I wanna mix it up because I feel like I'm always with the black T-shirt, sometimes gray T-shirts. So I'm wearing my Dunder Mifflin shirt.
Oh, that's funny. I've been wearing this one a bunch because I find particularly when I'm alone, when the missus is down at the house and I just watch the same shit over and over again. Um, so and Johnny, I will refund that to you. And um, also, I have voice tips turned off, which I don't know why it's accepting them. Um, so uh, I'm gonna try to turn them all off. So please don't send them tonight because we're not gonna be able to see them. And consider this my gift to you. You get Ranger and Dave Sarah. What more could you possibly ask for? Um,
Probably just Ranger.
Oh
probably-
no.
Sam Bibley,
would-
this Johnny guy is paying off all the small shows to say nice things to him so no one finds out he's a fish gutting pervert.
Hey man, I enjoy Johnny Carson's stream when I'm about to go to bed at 3 o'clock in the morning at my time. So it's very easy for me to fall asleep, put that on, all gacked out, put it on, fall asleep, and it's great.
And also, in Johnny's defense, it's not like he's not leading with the fact that he's a fish gutting pervert. In fact, that's kind of the draw.
Right.
So.
Right. And my joke, which was awful, but I will say, is when I met Johnny for the first time at Ray's birthday party, I did not know he worked at the Fulton Fish Market and thought he had just came from his girlfriend's house. But
So you're saying that he smells like MKE's fingers?
Shut up, Dave.
Shut up, Dave. Dave. Yes, Dave. We need to get you to get a good T-shirt, not the Armenian where we see the cross and the chest hair. You know, you look like one of the Greek men. Somebody who's trying to get.
You like my Tiffany dog tags?
Oh, is it?
Someone's doing well.
No, I gave one Christmas, like when I was 10 or 15 years old or whatever. I got like, I got my great aunt and my grandmother who lived together. I got them each one, and then when they passed away, I got it back in the will. So cool.
Wow. I've tried since I was a kid to wear some sort of jewelry, and it never works out. I can't be bothered. So, and I lost my dog tags a long time ago. So
Yeah, people say I've stolen valor and shit. Oh, you're in the military? Let me see your dog tags. I'm like, they're Tiffany. Gosh.
Mine were made on a little machine in an office by an old sergeant who's a reverend on the weekends. And
Yeah,
he
maybe it was made by Permasil Finishing with his stamping machines.
used the time to try to win me over to Jesus. While I
How'd
was-
that pan out,
I was
Schmuel?
getting my it worked out well, as you can tell. Speaking of Messianic Jews, no, my like I said earlier, I follow the goings on in this sort of prophecy gospel area. What health and wealth gospel and the charismatics, the ones that speak the baba baba baba, and we're all supposed to know what that is. And it's been amazing because in the last 6 months, more of them have fallen than at any time I can remember. And not for what you think, like they're not getting busted because people are saying you're a scam and whatnot, but they're all getting busted for spiritual abuse, because we don't say sexual on the show, but it's like it's so amazing because the guys that have told you how to live your life for all these years and you've watched them grift people, it's shocking when you find out that they don't live their life that way. And and one of them, a guy named Robert Morris, who was in Dallas at one of the largest mega churches in the country, it was with a 12-year-old girl.
Ooh.
And it happened 25 years ago. Um, and it came out, and it's really so interesting to me because she came to the church back in 2007-ish, maybe, somewhere in that vicinity, and she wanted $50,000, and she wanted $50,000 to pay for therapy. That was her only request, and they wanted her to sign an NDA, and she never signed it, right? And the guy, the pastor, told his church about it. He told the elder board about it, but he just said, I had a failing with a woman, and it was a long time ago when I was young, and all of this stuff. And they're like, oh, you're such a good man now, you're a good earner. Supposedly what happened was nobody checked into it, but they did know at the time she was 16, which is what he said, which was the legal age in Oklahoma at the time where this happened. But pretty fucking cool is he left Oklahoma and went to Texas.
Okay.
So the statute of limitations ran out on these crimes, right? But there's like an 1800 something law in Oklahoma back in the days of the posses that if you were not a resident of Oklahoma and committed a crime in Oklahoma and then left Oklahoma, the clock did not start running until you were brought back to Oklahoma for the crime. So he is now up on a slew of charges against this girl, and he's mostly admitted them. And the best fucking part is he's suing his church because he wants his retirement money because he needs it for lawyers and shit like that. And he's looking for $800,000 a year. He's like 63. He wants $800,000 a year until he turns 70, and then $600,000 a year after that. He says that's what he was promised. Files a lawsuit. The church responds to the lawsuit, and in the emails from the church, we find out that all of the elders knew the age of the girl, knew about this, and knew about it way back when. But he was such a cash cow by that point, nobody did anything about it.
Fuck.
And I'm like, holy fuck.
That's some dirt.
Yeah, and it's typical. It's so typical of these guys. So sorry to sidetrack, but I find that one. I love when guys like that get nailed. And the best part is, do you remember Ted Haggard?
Yes.
Okay, so for you kids that don't know, Ted Haggard was the president of, he might have been the Southern Baptist, I'm not really sure, but he was the president of like the Evangelical Association for years, and he had a mega church, and he got busted for male massages. he liked to have his butt rubbed. He spent church money on rent boys and all that other stuff. He was tossed to the side. He's gone. His church was taken over by another guy. I think his name is Jimmy Evans. Jimmy Evans happened to be one of the elders at the church in Dallas that let Robert Morris preach. So now he's denying all of these claims. So religion, kids, it's bad. No, it's
not. It's
so,
not.
Yeah.
Diddling is, and it can happen. Can happen in any denomination.
Yeah, and it does, and it gets and it's real common among it's common among conservative groups, and I don't mean conservative politically, but conservative religious insular communities is where it really happens more than any other, because nobody wants to talk about it. And they put things away. And I know in the Hasidic community, it's a huge problem, but they don't talk about it.
Yeah.
Nobody says anything. And they're such good voters in voting blocks, they let them pretty much handle their stuff on their own. So it's quite amazing. And little did I know, apparently the IRS changed the rules a few years ago, and you can change from a nonprofit to a church. And when you're a church, you don't even have to file tax returns.
Perfect.
The church doesn't. And that's how these guys wind up with like the private jets and all that, because the church writes it off. And they're supposed to file personal taxes. But, you're because I always wonder how a guy becomes worth $757 million, Kenneth Copeland.
Well, that's what I was going to say. God told Kenneth Copeland that he needed those jets. So that's all on the up and up to me.
Yeah. I'm going to let my dog out, and then I want to tell a quick Mylon, you can go look this name up. Mylon, Mylon Lefevre, Lefevre. And you hold on for that Kenneth Copeland, Mylon Lefevre story.
Okay, I'm going to take my bag out now. That's my move. Is that I am going to go full ski mask. I'm going to get up from here. I'm going to reveal to you my bag.
All right. So Copeland is one of the prosperity preachers, right? And he's also the prosperity and health and wealth, right? And the word of faith, which is where you're not allowed to say certain things because then that will happen. If I have cancer, I'm not supposed to say I have cancer because then that will become real. But if you sow your seed to guys like Kenneth Copeland, you will supposedly get healed.
Yeah.
And Rudy Baga, 501c3. Yeah, that's not actually, I don't think that's the exemption for the church. I think that's the exemption for nonprofits, which is another scam, but we'll stick with this one for the moment. So Copeland is doing a stream and he's showing his Breitling watch to the crowd, to his church group, whatever. What do we call that? His parish?
Congregation.
Congregation, thank you. He's showing the Breitling watch to his congregation. And he's talking about the Breitling watch. And it was like $130,000 Breitling watch, and how God gave it to him, and that you could have this too. But then he proceeds to tell a story about the other Breitling that he got, which was worth like 900,000 or something like that.
Damn.
Because it was the Breitling edition of a Bentley. And Bentley car, their Breitling edition, he gets this car and he goes on about somebody had so much faith and they gave it to me, blah, blah. Well, it turns out the person that gave it to him is Mylon Lefevre. Mylon was a big time Christian musician, had a lot of money, diagnosed with cancer, gives the Breitling Bentley to Copeland, and then dies like a year or so later. But yet Copeland tells the story and never mentions that the guy died. And people still follow this motherfucker. He's all over the place.
What a humble guy.
And it just, but I'm always like, I'll say about Kevin Brennan, like, how do you live with yourself? But how did these guys really like live with themselves?
Yeah, it's a matter of scale.
Yeah, and and you believe, but he's 87 years old. This is one of my favorite things about him. He's 87. He has not a gray hair on his head, and he says that's from God. That God has given him that. He's going to live to 120 or something.
God bequeathed him the Kikoman treatment, if you
Right.
will.
And the guy who was actually his hairstylist came out a couple of years ago with the receipts for
Oh,
the
did
for
he?
the hairstyling and things like that. And I have not heard from that. No one's heard from that guy in like 2 years. So he's not dead. He was just paid off and whisked away. So that's our Kenneth Copeland tonight. Exactly. There's awful things in all religions, but everyone focuses on the Christians. Well, we do here in this country because it's the majority, right? And you can, if you try to focus on others, um, you wind up getting called names and being canceled and um, uh, and things like that. But it feels very free lately to be the Jews control everything people. Um, so I, I wonder about that, and I watch the way the Muslim world treats women, and the one like I will tell you of all the things I don't understand, gays for Palestine just blows me away.
I mean, look, I'll give a little counter to that. I get it, because again, the pushing gays off the roof doesn't happen in Palestine, and for as much as say Caitlyn Jenner is over in a bunker there because she was there speaking at a pride parade in Israel. Um, you can't get gay married there. You can get gay married someplace that whatever, like here that will honor a gay marriage. You can go over there and they'll accept it. You can't get gay married there either. So it's no wonder that a lot of people, at least in our country, see this as it's a big and intractable desert fight between certainly in the Arab world and increasingly in Israel forces of fundamentalism. Fundamentalism requires your women to be covered up. I, as a leftist, no. I say no. I say uncover the women. Hot take.
Yeah, well, I'm not saying uncover, but you can do what you want. Um,
Sure.
but I need to believe that it's a choice, and for many it's not, and that's my issue. And that look, the ultra orthodox community in Israel is the reason why you don't have gay marriage. It's
Exactly right.
um, right, and there are no pride parades in Gaza.
Exactly.
Um, but people here would totally like to not have them here either. So, and they're not guys that are making women wear burqas. So, are they any better? Um, I don't, I don't know. But it's not. Nothing is as simple as we want. That my point is in all of this is there's a world history, and we can't ignore that. And uh, there are no simple answers, right? Like uh, the world didn't start 30 years ago. It's my argument with Kumia and blacks, right? Like, oh, look at these blacks. Well, for 200-300 years, you didn't let them have anything, right? Completely disenfranchised, couldn't buy a house, couldn't own anything. Um, and it's been about 30 years since things opened up, and only in the last 20 years have they really opened up. And you're blaming them for the way they act. And I shouldn't say that. That's a terrible way to put it. But um, you condition people to do something, and then you're complaining that they respond. They haven't had anything.
Yeah, also, you're talking about history, and meanwhile, again, talking about shit being ahistorical, it's hilarious to me and many other people that Anthony Cumia is yearning for some whatever Gone with the Wind ass time where he wouldn't have been a slave, but he wouldn't have been able to get every fucking job out there. For a long time, it was Dagos, Coloreds, and Irish need not apply. And then it was whatever. Dagos and Coloreds need not apply, and then Coloreds need not apply, and then Dagos, Coloreds, and Irish use the back door, and so on and so on. And for him to act like he's whatever, some son of a plantation owner, there's a reason why people have made fun of him for being Antoine Alcumia for years.
Exactly. But and for a guy like him, you only have to go back 100 years in New York City, right, to see this. This is and they all idolize the mafia. And why did the mafia grow? It grew because they had no power, and this was the only way they could get it.
Yep, because of institutional injustice, which is something that modern day Ant doesn't think it must have existed when Vito got off the boat, and Don Fanucci wasn't doing shit about that, and neither were the Mick cops. But apparently, that's the only group that can apply to.
Right, but doesn't it seems like every group goes through a sort of criminal phase because they're forced to.
Sure.
And then the kids' generations become more legitimate over time. So Chris Mack, the Haredim are the fastest growing demographic in Israel, by the way. Their political power and influence is growing while most other groups decline. 100% correct. Also because they're having the most children.
Yeah.
That's the one thing, I always say to Kumia when he talks about this stuff, I'm like, well, you gave up your genetic imperative. I mean, we're talking about all these people coming over from Africa and whatever to Europe. The Europes aren't replacing themselves. And, it's nice land. And you guys weren't really the original to occupy it, right? Somebody's been taking it from somebody forever. So I don't know that how you feel about that. This is why talking religion or politics in the DV is dumb. It's not dumb. I just want people to hate me. So I need a little. We're talking religion and politics all in one night. Todd Cock. God damn, this is sad. It is. It is. What Ranger isn't telling you is that Don Fanucci is Father Guido Sarducci's real name.
That's 100. That's a fact, Jack.
Oh, I'd forgotten about that. I used to love Father Guido Sarducci when I was a kid. And a Catholic priest I knew hated it. Just hated it. And I thought it was the funniest thing in the world.
It was.
He was great. When he did the bit at the Last Supper, when they give him the check, and he's like, Peter, 17 shekels for you. Judas, you owe it. It's just it is the funniest thing in the world. And speaking of religion, the missus went to Villanova, and our Pope graduated from Villanova. So he's a big, the new Pope. So he's the big guy now. And the Villanova alumni stuff is like one Pope picture after another. And
that's a big get.
It is a big get. It is a big get. And he is shockingly liberal too. So I'm wondering, although I think France has set that up. So whatever. Jimmy I. Schmuel took the virginity of Tammy Faye Baker.
Allegedly.
I just heard a great Tammy Faye Baker story, which I won't think it is, which you guys won't think is funny, but I did. She was so into that word of faith stuff, not speaking a negative word, that when she was dying of lung cancer and had like weeks to live, she still expected a miracle from God. and still talked about it and still told people and was still selling it basically. And you're just like, at some point, man, it's just too fucking hard, you know?
Yeah, it's a lot of committing to the bit.
And while her hubby is still selling survival gear in Branson, and I don't know if you know, it's Branson has really shit the bed as a resort community.
Oh yeah.
And visiting, yeah, and he's like desperate, and I was laughing because somebody played um, a thing of his that he had done on his TV show, and I'm like, can't they get the sound of an empty room out of that? It's like, you know, because they used to have busloads of people that would go to Branson, particularly like older religious people. And all of those old stars that they used to go see there have died, you know, or moved on. And there just aren't, nobody's replacing them. You know, like, have you heard of the Petersons? You know, I mean, who's, you know, you can't, they, you know, they can't sell out a theater. And Barry, God, the guy from the Brady Bunch, Barry Williams, like he had a theater there and stuff. And, you know, after a while, it's like you can only take so many old men.
Yeah, they should book a Jim Stansel or a Ski Mask. Am I right, audience?
They should. They should. These old people get to see balls on stage in a way that they'd never thought they'd see balls on stage before. Oh, honey, this is the juggling in 2025. I saw Stansel. I didn't see the video, but I saw Stansel was back out on the Long Island Sound. Today. And it's so funny. He goes out and he's in a kayak when I've seen the other videos, and the sound of the water and the oar slapping the water is so annoying. I'm like, I can't listen. I can't listen to this.
Yeah, Jim Stansel in a kayak. That's a real little man in a canoe. Am I right, anyone?
Oh yeah, ding 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 ding, boom.
Thank you very much. Thank you
We
very
need
much.
a rim shot for that. No pun intended. So there we go. Anyway, man, thanks for helping me out tonight.
Anytime.
And you can laugh, but Stansel gets to order off the kids' menu at restaurants.
You're right, Squid. You know what? I'm hating. I'm player hating.
That's so funny. Oh, let's go. Leo got Stansel kayaks from Connecticut to Fire Island, allegedly.
Allegedly.
And it's how he gets home that the most fun is had on that trip. I don't want to get sidetracked, but they used to be. Did they have a popular stream at one time, or was it more popular in their mind than it was?
That was before my time.
Yeah, me too. Because those guys were all BYB guys. That was all like Stansel and Ski Mask, Stevie Lou, Lou the Bind, like all these guys were all part of that. And you know, so it's wild. Ski Mask. Ski Mask doesn't like me, but I don't think he likes anybody. But he totally doesn't like me. So, because I don't do podcasting the way it's meant to be done for men.
Well, wait. When it comes to that, just my little end on tonight's sermon to all the guys who are complaining about super chat shows, and you have Jim Stansel is a prominent example. I can think of some others. My message to you is turn off your monetization. Turn super chats off on your stream. If it's so terrible, if this is the great Satan, don't have your hand in that, because otherwise I am just going to continue to do, as we say in Greece, I'm going to write that on my balls. I'm not going to pay no never mind to that if you're not actually walking the walk whilst you're talking the talk.
I did not know that you could turn off monetization until Chad Zumach did it a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, that's a real now you see me, now you don't style work. I think it was a miracle, right, Schmuel? It was supposed to be 60 days, and it was back within a week. That's crazy.
And got his, and he sent a copy of the email letter out to people so that they could see it, but there were no date on it, and it was not addressed to anyone. A similar situation to his Patreon as well.
Yeah,
when he
weird
got
how
that
that
back.
works out, huh?
I am shocked. I am shocked. Let's close with Squid here. All they ever talk about is how awesome they are because they're OG MLC listeners and their balls. And it happened live on MLC.
Yeah, right. A Christmas miracle.
Yeah, look, I don't have an appreciation. I did not realize how young Ski Mask is, but I'm going to say he's 35 or under. He might even be in his late 20s, and he's in terrible shape for alcohol. You know, if you're getting pancreatitis in your 20s, the odds of you not developing pancreatic cancer in your 30s and 40s is low if you're getting it from alcohol. But more importantly, he was on a stream with Quad, and he was hammered and went to the store in his car, bought beer, and drove home.
No, Ski, say it ain't so, bro.
And you're like, and he was driving at one point with the mask on.
Oh, no.
And I'm like, oh my God, this is the fucking way to get yourself like, you know, and it'll be all our fault.
For
But
shame.
yeah, they do say that what I was told about him, which I thought was pretty funny, is that his drinking wasn't so bad at one time, and he had a very pretty girlfriend, and his drinking got really bad, and his girlfriend got really fat because that was like all that was left for her. You know, she was eating to soothe. So Yakov Smirnoff still rules Branson. I don't even think he's there anymore. I'll have to do a Branson update one of these days. I did one about a year ago, and I find it hilarious. But you know, it's like Vegas, right? In Vegas, it used to be where you could go see all of these old timey acts, Wayne Newton, and you know, and it was a haven for comedians that had rotted themselves out.
Yeah.
Right. And you know, the tree was old and the bark was peeling, but you could still pull a show together, and they can't even get a room. Then Godfrey had Yakov on as a guest recently. I will tell you about Yakov. Yakov made me laugh. His jokes were simple, they were fine, and they were fun. But you know, it's not like I ever got deep into Yakov's process and his jokes. It was all very like serviceable and very good TV wise.
Yeah.
So that was the deal, and it came with linen napkins, real linen napkins. And the part we miss is the magnetic pan, the magnetic plate that the what do you call it? What do you call that thing that the plates go on when they serve you? Charger.
Yeah, the placemat, charger.
TV tray?
She said charger.
That's the thing that's on the table. It's pretty, and then the plate goes on top of that.
Oh my God! Did you people hear that? That's something I never knew.
It's called a charger.
Okay, so the pretty thing that's on the table that the plate goes on is called a charger.
If it's like another plate, but it's flat.
It's like another plate, but it's flat. But if I bring you a tray, I guess it would be a tray, right? A tray of.
Yeah, like when you're at a restaurant and they're doing this.
Yeah, so when they bring
to a rube like you, Schmuel, it would be a tray.
Yeah, the tray, the tray was magnetic. That was the other advantage. You had like the desk seats, like when you were a kid, you know, when the seats would fold up, the desk part would fold up. They would be magnetic, so your food wouldn't fall off while you were eating it. What a country! And Sigurd Jones, a lazy Susan. No, that's Spins. That one I do know. That's what a lazy Susan is. And also a niece. All right. And then, this is where we can close with. It is Permaseal Finishing. She's right. Kara, anyway, She's right. That will never. What do you call it? I I really like Charger. What are you nuts? And once again, Schmuel is proved wrong. So there we go. All right, and then relax, stop in the upper right. Have a baklava.
I wish.
Uh,
I'm not even a dessert guy, but
we got to get some keftides. What the hell are they
if
called?
that is, yeah.
Keftedes, and some lemonaki, and we'll we'll be all set. All right, guys, it's been a blast. Ranger, thank you for saving me. And you know, and speaking of religion and gods and all that, whoever you pray to or don't pray to, or you know, whatever you're gonna set fire to tonight, let's all do it, and hoping that Pat gets his channel restored quickly. And we will be back on Thursday night. And let's hope that we don't have clips of me being a moron earlier in the show. So it'll be lots of fun, and we'll talk to you guys. And here's my gay black Jew, and the I have to tell a story real quick. So in the I used to work near a bunch of Hasidics, and they all have they their wares that they carry with them, and it was in a clear plastic bag, right? And you would see these guys coming down the street, and they're dressed that way, and it was hilarious because there was always one group of about 20, and there was always one black guy. And I just used to laugh because he used to look at when they would see each other on the street, he would walk by and he would like wave to them, and they would wave back, but they would do the like waving back and the looking down and away. Like I'd love to see you, brother, but please don't come over here and talk to me. So that's it. Stallion 19. Too late. All right, buddy. Hey, thanks. Hey, man. If I could get clipped as much at Karmic, that would be amazing. Maybe I'll have to get drunk on a stream, but I won't be doing it with Crown Royal. And that is my last prediction about Karmic, is that when we start seeing the Crown Royal become Costco variety Crown Royal, and then apparently there's like Jack something that is a Canadian, even cheaper version of it. So it's like my old landlord who used to drink expensive scotch, and by the time she died, she was drinking King Charles by the bottle. So there you go. Good night, everybody.